Hello, my beautiful aliens. Today I want to use my first deck ever, the Angels and Ancestors deck, and see what is going on with your energy. So Spirit, what is going on with this collective? I'm getting tiredness, maybe you're very tired. Troubles with sleeping. What's going on with this collective, please? Air Guardian, shift your perception. You might be an air sign, but you might be overthinking something right now. Like you need a solution to a problem, but you don't know that you need a solution because you are just viewing the problem. Maybe it's the tiredness, maybe it's the lack of motivation or inspiration. Autumn, release the old and rest. With the crow or the raven here. So you're overthinking something. Trust in the unknown, Skyfather is on the bottom. So I'm getting the energy that you are overthinking something because it's just normal for you to overthink. There's an old programming running in your brain right now. Maybe you don't see it, you only feel it. And that's the overthinking, the tiredness, maybe a little bit of frustration too. One more. Shed old skin with the snake. So confirming, the eagle is now on the bottom. See from a higher perspective. So maybe something's happened recently with a person or people, something that may be irritating you somehow, and now you're overthinking it. Maybe a little bit slipping back to that negative talking negatively about yourself. Thinking that my life is always like this, nothing good ever happens, etc. So let's see, what are you overthinking? With the Air Guardian, shift your perception. The Tower, so lifetimes, something from the past. Maybe old memories. Maybe you saw some kind of dreams about people from the past. Like certain situations with other people. Somehow the memories are coming up with something. It also says government, institutions, hierarchy, patriarchy, the 3D BS, you know, the 3D stuff. So this confirms that whatever you are overthinking, it's the old programming. I feel like this is something that is wanting to be released with the autumn card. Like the trees in autumn, they let go of their leaves. They don't worry about it. They know that the spring will come and new leaves will grow. This is something that is very hard for you to let go. What's the autumn? Maybe you're seeing lots of crows or ravens. Also, I'm hearing that some of you want a raven friend. But I'm also getting, yet again, Madonna's song Frozen. You only see what your eyes want to see. How can life be what you want it to be? You're frozen. So stuck in the past, definitely. One card for the autumn. 19th of the 6th might be relevant for some of you. Maybe something happened on that date that caused you to overthink. Autumn. One card for the autumn card, please. The bridge. Maybe you've been thinking about contacting some people from the past. Yeah, the birds are on the bottom and there's the phoenix. Communication. Making contact. Maybe someone from the past has contacted you and now you're overthinking that. Or I'm also hearing that there's a person you want a contact with, but it's not possible. What's the snake? Shed the old skin. I'm also getting Kundalini from that. And with the phoenix, I feel like that you are somehow creating something new within, like with your energy. The boomerang came to the snake. The recovery of an item, health, money, friendship, relationship, energy. And the wounded feminine energy is on the bottom. I feel like your old identity is shifting. As I was getting this deck to see how you view yourself, the Queen of Pentacles throw itself on the floor. Elegant earth star, it says. I feel like you've been very grounded. You've been doing something with yourself, concentrating in your own life, in your own well-being. But something is here that is making you overthink something from the past. But I want to see how you view yourself before we continue. I'm also seeing the Purge card on the other deck. Remove unwanted stuff. Remove whatever this is. But how is this collective viewing themselves right now? How they are viewing themselves? The buffalo, abundance and wealth. So you've gone through lots of hard times. You're a very determined person. You don't give up easily. Or maybe you don't give up ever. That's what I'm also hearing. I feel like you're a very independent and determined person. There's nothing in this world that you cannot achieve. But it might be that every time you are in the verge of achieving something, this comes up, something from the past that reminds you that you aren't good enough or you're this, and this. It's like the past is trying to diminish the new you. And every time something new is going to land in your reality, the shadow self, the devil, appears. And I'm not saying that the person or the people or the situations are the devil itself. It's more about you need to visit this energy so you can let it go, because otherwise it will be on your way somehow. One more. I feel like you're very concentrated on wealth, prosperity, feeling abundant. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles is also about. Very grounded, loving, caring, has boundaries, but she sits in a very good energy. There's no lack of anything with her. And if there is, she's able to see it outside of the box. She doesn't blame herself or anyone else. She finds the solutions. And maybe that's the thing here. You are too concentrated on the problem, and that's why you are creating more problems. You need to be more concentrated on the solution. It might be something to do like in the physical, maybe with your work or something that you are doing but I feel like it's more the energetic purge energy. You're just viewing that what are these feelings, what are these obstacles, why people are annoying me, instead of seeing what do I need to see about myself. And they're showing me a meditation that I did one morning about anger. And in the meditation, when I went deep down into that feeling of anger, I started crying because I realized that the anger was showing me grief. And when I kind of realized that, I started crying a lot and it healed me. I don't even know what the sadness was about. I just saw little me, but I didn't connect that grief to anything particular. So maybe this is something that you too need to see. One more. The Robin, joy and hope. So number 21 on the buffalo and 29 in the robin. The white dove, love, energy, is on the bottom. You are sitting here on your own. I feel like you want to concentrate on happiness and joy. And that's why you might be thinking that what is this energy now surrounding me? Maybe the anger or the frustration or the sadness or the overthinking. It's the old programming. It wants to be seen. You need to break out from the old programming, something from the past, and maybe the past people are now showing up for you to remind you of that programming that like 10 years ago you were part of this group and you were doing these types of things, but now it's not resonating with you anymore. But maybe some part of you still thinks that that is a part of you. The right collective, you will kind of know what I'm talking about. If a reading doesn't make sense or it doesn't resonate, it's not your collective. So if you are still watching, this might be your reading. Let's take one more. And I kind of see the buds here. And I think it was underneath this deck. The buds, new beginnings, expansion. That's what you've been concentrating on, and I feel like your energy is being shifting. But now there's something from the past that is showing itself to you, so it can be released. One more. The turtle, number 70, endurance and resilience. With the buffalo, makes sense. This collective, you don't give up. You're tough as a bull. That's what I'm hearing. And I feel like you've been trying to nurture your own feelings, trying to calm your feelings, doing research, quote unquote research, on your own emotions. And I feel like you kind of learned to balance yourself out. And I feel like for a while you've been okay, but now this is happening. There's a new layer of emotion, a new layer of your feelings, a new layer of the programming that you need to see. You need to dive into that and see what's beneath the surface. Like I said with my meditation, the anger, what was beneath the anger was grief, sadness. What is going on with your shadow self? What's going on with your shadow self? duality. I create a new inner balance. So definitely something negative has happened here. Forever is on the bottom. I build healthy foundations for myself and others. But that's giving me the love energy again. Maybe there's a love situation that you try to heal from. Maybe there's distance. And you realize that the distance has actually been very beneficial for you. Like you have found joy, inspiration, motivation, and balance in your life. But for some reason, I feel like the irritation and the negative thing is coming from other people, situations than the love. But you might be thinking that the love situation is the problem. And with the snakes, they are mirrors to each other. So yet again, number 11 on that card. Prophetic past. I ground myself in here and now. There's something from the past that you need to see differently. Maybe you've been blaming a person or the love situation or other people or the situations about, making you angry or frustrated or whatever. But like I always say, it's not about them, it's about you. Take your power back with that mantra. It's not about them, it's about me. This is my life. When you say that out loud, every time you're overthinking or blaming, it brings the focus back on self. It brings the power back on self. And also you will be more grounded in the now. You will feel empowered because you know that everything is always about you. The life is a reflection of you. And whatever you are seeing here from the love situation or other people or situations that are causing you the negative feelings, there's something in you that you need to see. Because if you think about it, if something isn't triggering you, you're very neutral. It doesn't bother you. But if it triggers you and it bothers you, there's a wound in you. Now it came out, the prophetic past. So there is something about the past. And 33. And it dropped itself on top of the boomerang. So trees might be relevant, like number 33, 33. You see in threes a lot. And it said on the boomerang, the recovery of an item, health, money, friendship, relationships, and energy. So whatever this is, it's taking your power. So do the mantra. It's not about them, it's about me. But I'm also feeling whatever's happened in the past, I feel like these people, situations drained you energetically, but also maybe took something from you in the physical. And I feel like that's the grief, the sadness that you kind of didn't get justice. Maybe you overgave something, your love, your energy, something physical to someone, and they never appreciated it. It's like everything you've been giving, you haven't been receiving. That's something that you needed to realize, that you need to do this to yourself. You need to give to yourself. And I feel like that's something that you've been doing. But the reminder is here now for some reason. Injustice was on the bottom, 22. Other people are my allies. I feel like other people are your enemies. That's how you... So, okay, trust issues. You don't trust people in general. You're very independent. You know you're a go-getter, you can achieve whatever you want on your own. That's not the issue here. Maybe you want to let people in your life, but it's very hard for you to trust them. Maybe you're going through some love situations here, but also I'm hearing family and friends. 6 of Wands. And I heard straight away victory, and that you are not being granted the honor that you deserve. Maybe the old people, the quote-unquote old people from the past, maybe they are seeing you still as the same person that you once were. Maybe that's frustrating you, that they cannot see how much you've developed as a human, as a soul. Still trying to kind of put you in that category of what you once were. Nine of Wands. Poison fire coral is the name of that mushroom. And Ace of Cups. Yeah, this is the energy of you wanting to open your heart, wanting new people in your life, but you don't trust that there are good people out there. Like you're not trusting that whatever is happened in the past doesn't happen again. That's the old programming. Okay, so what I'm getting here is whatever the past situations were, maybe you are seeing them in your dreams, or maybe something in the physical, like an old friend contacted you, or you are wanting to contact an old friend or something like this. They are wanting you to see how you behaved before. Like maybe there were some kind of arguments or fights that divided you on your separate ways. But more about the trigger points. That whatever happened then, you were triggered, irritated, angry, whatever. It's like you need to go back to those memories and see how you would react to them now. Like they are wanting you to ground that energy and see how much you have developed. That if that, okay, let's say that a scenario about maybe you having an argument with a person, and before, in that moment when it really happened, you weren't able to find the words, or you were just quiet even though you wanted to say so much, or maybe you just got really, really triggered and you start shouting or whatever the situation is. It's like they want you to go back into that situation and relive it and say and act differently with your current energy. That's how you're going to neutralize this energy, because you can see how kind of powerful you are now. And I don't mean with the word powerful that now you know exactly what to say and say hurtful words. It's not about that. It's more about being neutral. So maybe if there was a person yelling at you, you can now maybe relive that situation and being very neutral and maybe just smile. Like you don't need to argue back. You don't need to defend yourself. Right, collective, you will get what I'm trying to say here. That's why they are bringing you these memories. You need to let go of that past version of you, who you once were. And because you are not realizing this, that's why they are giving these memories and situations that are reminding of something from the past. Maybe there are family, friends who still thinks that you are this type of person, and they kind of trigger that same person to come out. But you need to realize that you are not the same person. You need to act differently. And this doesn't mean quieting yourself and not saying what you want to say, but have confidence what you are saying without the need of defending yourself or arguing about it. If another person doesn't understand your point of view, that's okay. But now you have the wisdom to walk away. You don't stay in that situation because the fear of loss or something like this, you know. That's something that you need to realize here. Exactly, 7 of Wands and the King of Pentacles. Some of you, maybe this is something to do with the previous workplace, something to do with money. The Lovers is on the bottom, choosing yourself. Maybe previously you always choose the other person, your partner. Always overgive to your partner, and maybe you weren't able to say what you really wanted to say because you want them to stay, you know. But it's different now. You are seeing yourself. You know who you are. I feel like this is just, you know, purging the old identity out. The Moon in reverse. So yeah, the shadow self, the past, the fear is now coming to the surface for you to see. And it brings you the opportunity to move different and actually step into this new identity that you have. And be more confident about who you are, and be brave to take space. And I'm seeing with this that maybe, let's say that you have neighbors and you always act very quietly in your house because you don't want to disturb the neighbors, and that's why you can't listen to music and you can't do this and this and this because, you know, you don't want to disturb them. But now it's like, why? I can listen to music at the daytime. It's not a problem. I can do that. You know, you just need to realize that I can take the space. You need to stop shrinking yourself in front of other people and circumstances. Justice is on the bottom. This is the lesson here. Old man of the woods, and it always brings me the Hermit. Soul searching. This is something that you need to see. You need to take the space that belongs to you. Otherwise, you will be a pushover. Otherwise, other people need to always remind you of that. And of course, they don't do it on purposely. It's just the energies. The mirror again. They need to show you that you are diminishing yourself. I'm also hearing that maybe you're very easy to say sorry if you do something or say something. You're like, oh, sorry. Or, you know, you're saying sorry about your existence. Stop saying that you're sorry. If something happens and you do something to someone, of course you need to say sorry. But, you know, don't say sorry about your existence. Or let's say that you're ordering a hamburger and the person is asking, do you want ketchup on it or something like this? And you're like, yeah, ketchup, yeah. Don't do that. Take a few seconds to think about it. Yes, ketchup would be nice, or no, thank you. You know, be calm and take the space even in those type of situations. When people say you need to take space, people always think that, yeah, you need to be like this and, you know, take the space literally. It's more about the energetic presence of you. Take time in this type of situations and be neutral. People are so scared about pauses between conversations. You need to start practicing that. Like, think what you are going to reply. And especially if you normally tend to defend yourself very quickly. I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. It's like when you were very humble and like this, and sorry that I'm alive, to this that I know who I am today. I can take my time with everything. I don't need to over-explain. I don't need to say sorry if I didn't do anything. You know, you need to own your own energy. I want one alchemy card for you, how to alchemize this energy. One alchemy card for this collective. Straight away, Saturn. Saturn is known as the great ruler, the authoritative father and the structure in force. Limitations, rules, logistics and laws all fall under Saturn's claim and they insist on our adherence. Saturn constricts, it corrects, it governs. The force of this planet is mind-bogglingly frustrating, especially for creative types, as it can feel like one limitation after another, yet its ability to support is unmatched. No creative project can come to be without the Saturnian qualities of commitment, endurance and steadiness. The tick of the clock reminds us of this planet's steadfast presence eternally measuring. It's no surprise it's associated with the metal lead and the qualities of density and weight. To embrace Saturn is to embrace the foundation and become one's own central authority. It's not as dull or easy as it sounds. That's Saturn's secret. And if you want to go deeper with this energy, read the poem The Core of Masculinity by Rumi. And to ponder silence as power. What did we say? You need to become your own central authority. I feel like you're very structured in your life otherwise, but this is, like I said, it's about the aura, it's about your energy. That's why you need to go back and see how diminished you were and how you were diminishing yourself and your own authority and your power. It's changed. So you need to go back and see that you are changed. It's like going back and rewriting the history in a way. And The Core of Masculinity by Rumi, I feel like you need to go and read that. And I'm seeing the Emperor card with this. It also says, ironically and to the amusement of anarchists everywhere, the authorian energy of Saturn is said to reside in the middle finger. But also the energy with the clock. Maybe you have gave up all the clocks like I have done in my life. I just go with nature nowadays. Maybe that's something that you've been doing, but also the energy of, you know, taking it easy. You don't need to be so productive all the time. Balancing out your energies like work and free time, but also the scythe. Purging things out from the dark, from the mind, from the shadow self. And kind of showing the middle finger to the past with the golden ball here. This actually reminds me of this charm that I have, this big bell, which is a symbolism for me about the big manifestation. I kind of want to have one archetype card for you. The Judge flipped in the deck and the Mountain. So I will take the card that comes to the table. The Medallion. As we were talking about the big manifestation. Let's read that. The amulet, the talisman, the heirloom. The passing on of sacred objects is an ancient ritual within families, between lovers, and in tribes across the globe. We give jewels, treasures, keepsakes, and mementos of all kind, some of great material value, others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. Yet, when these gifts are bestowed upon us, it is important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. When the medallion card appears, be aware of how the objects you hold dear may be embedded with unconsciousness energy or expectations. Materials hold consciousness, and it's time to reconcile the vibration of the objects around you. What do you covet and collect, and why? Is there an object you have held on to for years that you are ready to release? Perhaps it is time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values. And when this energy is in light, upholding tradition, protecting and honoring, and when in the dark, burdensome inheritance and habituation. And to go deeper, ancient Egyptian scrab-up amulets. So I'm hearing a few things with this card. I feel like there is something coming into your life, like manifestation-wise, something abundant, but it's more like an inheritance from your ancestors, like they are somehow upgrading you to a new role, which will eventually manifest something in the physical, like prosperity. But I'm also hearing that maybe there are some, like we had the purge card, the broom was showing itself. I feel like there is some things that you need to get rid of, because objects, they have energy. So maybe there is some old things that you need to get rid of, like let's say some old paperwork, like old, contracts to do with work, and maybe some apartments. Just let them go. They are holding space and energy in your presence. But also old clothes, whatever, you need to purge, get rid of all things that is a reminder of the old you. Of course, there's few bits and pieces that you can hold on to that have emotional value, of course. But those old shoes that you never wear, and maybe old clothes that that you're not going to fit in, or if you fit in but it's not your style anymore, you just need to let them go. But also, and I'm called to say this, that every time you buy some new furniture, especially if it's from, a flea market, you need to clean them energetically, because there's so many energies attached to those objects. So maybe there is something in your house right now that maybe you bought recently, and after that you've noticed some different energies in your home. But also some gifts from people that weren't very nice to you. You need to get rid of those gifts, because that person's intentions and energies are still in your field. And if you've been seeing a dream about a certain person from the past, and they gave you some kind of gift, this is the reason they are showing this person, because they want you to kind of connect the dots to this certain object in your house that you need to get rid of. But also the energy of the old you. You need to let the old you go away. You aren't the same. You don't want to be the same. So you need to let it go. And for some of you, I feel like you want to do some kind of, a ritual for this. Like maybe go and have a swim in nature's waters. Like baptize yourself in nature somehow. Or just do something with Mother Nature. I feel like your intuition will be guiding you with this. And also getting the energy of making new traditions, new way of living. And that speaks about breaking breaking out from the old belief system, the 3D things, the things that your parents told you that this is life and this is how it's meant to be, and create your own traditions, create your own belief systems, create your own identity. And I feel like you have the tools to do that, but maybe you just haven't realized the power of doing that. It's like you've been creating this art piece of self, and now you need to step back and see the beauty of the art piece and honor it in a new way, and not be putting it in a cupboard and just letting it be. No, you need to put it on the center place in your house and honor it. Yet again, take the space, honor who you are. I want to ground this energy with an animal card. So Spirit, please, in what animal's energy is this collective shining in right now? The lamb. Peaceful, prophetic, patient. The lamb is the bearer of an important message. Its contents can only be heard when a deep level of quiet has been established. Lamb energy is the honest guidance you hear from an old friend, a young child, or sometimes a surprising stranger. Though the lamb's message may channel through another person, the wisdom resonates within you. It will repeat and reverberate until you listen. Approach this gentle creature with utmost patience and reverence. Truth is a gift. Sit still, listen, and receive. And when this is in balance, knowingness and inner peace, and when out of balance, quiet, timid, and concerned. To bring into balance meditation and listening. So you need to sit with yourself. You need to listen what is going on within, and you need to start connecting these dots from the past people, things, to the present, and the one who you are today versus the one you once were. And because it mentioned the meditation, and I mentioned it earlier, definitely I recommend doing some meditation on this too. You can find meditations like on Insight Timer, the app, or on YouTube. And maybe write like anger meditation or sadness meditation. Like type in the emotion that you are having. And maybe you will find a great meditation practice to go deeper with that emotion. And yet again, the mantra, it's not about them, it's about me. Feel like you need to be quiet in the outside world to understand what is going inside. And when you do that, whatever was the trigger here, whoever the people were here irritating you, or the situation, it will go away, and that will be a sign for you that you've seen the lesson that you needed to see. Phoenix is on the bottom, and the hummingbird. Rise up to gather life's sweet nectar. I feel like there is some big things coming to you. Your life is starting to change in a good way. But before it can happen, this needs to happen. I hope this reading gave you clarity on your situation and it strengthened your own intuition. Thank you for being here, and if this message resonated with you, I would really appreciate you giving me a like on this video, and comments are always very welcomed, and of course subscribe if you want to. And also on YouTube you can join my support team. Under the video there's a join button, so go check that out. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.